We'll call the meeting to order and clerk call the roll. Here.
Here.
Senator Arthur Orr. Senator Gerald Allen. Senator Greg Albrecht.
Here.
Senator Dan Rose.
Here, ma'am.
Senator Bell. Senator Keith Kelly.
Here.
Coleman Mitchell. Senator Marissa Coleman. Here. Robert Stewart.
Here.
All right, quorum being present, call the first bill.
Senate Bill number 5 by Coleman Madison.
Senator Coleman Madison here. We'll carry it over temporarily if she gets here. Temporary carried over. Senator Chambliss, you got the floor.
Is that on? Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, I thought I was on this committee. I'm not used to which committees I'm on.
You're welcome.
I have a bill that we had last session, actually two bills. We had both of these last session. And they simply put into law what our current practice is. This first one, Senate Bill 9, is that currently our practice is to use paper ballots for voting, but that's not in the law. Someone could change that and use digital and that sort of thing. And I think that we always need a paper trail, an audit. So many things can happen to digital equipment, lightning, power outages, on and on and on. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions from the committee?
Chairman, I move favorable.
Roberts? Elliott, second. Motion made to give a favorable report, seconded by Elliott. Any comments from the committee? If not, call the roll. Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Coleman Madison. Senator Robert Stewart.
9 ayes, 1 abstention. The bill's given favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, committee.
Senator Chambliss, you're up again.
All right, this bill is very similar to the first bill in nature, although this deals with allowing voting machines to be connected to modems or the internet or that sort of thing. Obviously, if they have those connections, then people could hack into them and do things that we want to make sure that we have good and honest elections. Every vote's counted once, not twice. And this would just put our current practice into law.
Questions? Well, Mr. Chairman, I had my hand up first prior to so I'm just trying to figure out where we're.
You want to ask a question?
I do, yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you so much. This is for the sponsor of the bill. Have we had problems in the state of Alabama with electronic voting devices?
I can't say for sure. I don't know. But what this is to look forward and to be proactive. If we did have somebody do something, there's nothing that could be done because it's not illegal at this point. So we want to make it illegal for anybody to tamper, connect to the internet and tamper and potentially affect results of elections.
Thank you. And I understand that portion of it and agree with that portion of it 100% if somebody had done that. But again, this is my first term in the Senate.
Sure.
But one of my challenges downstairs was when we had pieces of legislation that we would pass where like literally there has been no evidence of this happening. So I don't want to be against it. But I also am still trying to understand the impetus of it. Like, if we have had that, I served actually on former Secretary of State's he had a task force of voter fraud reform task force. Served on that for a year. We got great information. But this particular issue never came up with the task force. Not one time. And actually what we heard about was the issues that if there were any issues of fraud or issues in voting, it was through the absentee ballot process and primarily at the local level, not even at our level. So again, I get what you're trying to do, but also I also have challenges when Alabama gets pulled into some of that national dialogue where we haven't even had the issue.
Well,
and I hope that this is not the case.
I understand, and this is not part of that national dialogue. Let me tell you where this started from.
Thank you.
I was on the Alabama Electronic Voting Committee, and we actually reviewed machines before they're able to be used in the state of Alabama and approved those. So during that process, I started asking questions. Other people started asking questions. That's what started this about 3-4 years ago. Well, do we have, does this machine have a modem in it? Well, I think was the first question. No, we don't allow modems. Well,
Okay.
Can they put them in there if they want to? Well, our policy is blah, blah, blah. I'm like, policy is not really strong enough for me. I want it to be where nobody can put it in there so that it can't be tampered with. And to your point, this is a bill that's looking forward. It's not a reactionary bill. Most of the time we in government are reactionary.
It's true.
And in this particular case, I want to be proactive so that we don't have a problem.
And thank you for that explanation. I got a couple of bills myself that are trying to be proactive, and maybe the gentleman and I can talk about some of those, and we'll be able to be on the same page on some of those as well. But thank you for that full explanation. That was helpful for me.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, now, any other questions, Coleman?
Thank you.
Addison?
Senator Chambers, I just wanted to make sure because now we use electronic voting. Not everybody. Well, everybody still got the slope, the shoot. Somebody's still using that. Doesn't everybody statewide have the electronic machines?
They have electronic vote counting machines. You don't actually vote electronically.
It's an electronic machine when you slide your ballot in there. It's using
right.
electricity, it's plugged up.
That's right. And the machine counts the vote, and the paper ballot stays in the bottom of the machine.
Right, I've seen those. I witnessed.
So let's say late in the afternoon, there's a thunderstorm or whatever. There's a surge in electrical, there's a whatever, and that voting machine loses that count.
But they don't lose the ballots.
They don't lose the ballot.
Right.
We still have them.
That's happened. I've worked machines and ballots, and so power went out, and but there's a backup battery in that as well. So we were able to pull the machine out in daylight and continue to vote. Didn't want to stop the process.
But in case of lightning, that battery backup would still not be sufficient as well.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. So your concern with this bill is that not with electronic machines, it's just the access of internet access.
That's right.
That people on the outside, cyber stuff, we don't know what's going on, that they are not able to, and I'm concerned about the same thing that you are. You do have a point here on this. It's a trust issue.
It is.
I have some trust issues myself.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that nobody on the outside is able to tamper with the elections, and and I think it's a good bill.
Well,
it is
thank you.
proactive.
It is. It is.
But I just want to make sure that this is all done with good intention to ensure the integrity of the voting process.
That's my whole point, and what I'm aiming for is, like I said, one vote counts once, not twice, not zero. One vote counts once.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
Thank you for this bill, Senator Chambliss. Quick question. Does this affect future developments? Would this bill affect future developments of ballot marking devices and things of that nature? Like if we wanted to change with technology and things of that nature?
It would affect that in that it would prevent future technology from eliminating. Well, I'm sorry, I was on paper ballot. This is the digital. It does not prohibit changes in technology and using technology. However, it would prohibit a modem from being able to be installed in that machine. It's pretty specific to that.
Any other questions? If not, we've got a favorable Senator Orr. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Senator Albritton. Call the roll. Aye.
Aye.
Senator Orr. Senator Allen. Senator Albritton. Senator Roberts. Senator Bell. Senator Kelly. Senator Coleman Madison. Senator Marika Coleman. Senator Robert Stewart. Have a quorum. 11.
All right, 11 ayes, no nays. The bill's given favorable report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Senate Bill 25, Senator Albritton, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This particular bill is well, first off, let me state, Alabama has a physical therapy board by which people participating and practicing in that profession must receive license according to training and everything else. However, we're a standalone. We have that, and we have no reciprocity among others throughout the nation. What this bill does is it takes and puts us within the national compact of physical therapists, which allows for reciprocity with the state, so that when someone from Texas or Montana or Washington that's a licensed PT can come in to move into or come in and practice in the state and get the license there. And everyone understands that. I would entertain any questions if there's any. Move to second. All right.
I move it.
All right.
Any questions from members of the
Yes.
committee?
I have a question.
Senator Roberts?
I read this twice last night, sir. This has nothing to do with scope of practice.
It does not.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Motion by Senator Orr for a favorable report. Is there a second? Second from Senator Wagner. You're not a committee member?
Okay, I'll second it. I'll second.
Oh,
I'll second it.
all right. Favorable from Senator Roberts, second from Orr. All right.
Motion to use previous role?
Use the previous roll. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and bill passes. Senator Wagner is an honored guest. Senator Wagner, Senate Bill 32.
Mr. Chairman, move favorable report.
Second.
Roberts.
Senator Wagner, from personal note, thank you for bringing this bill. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay, and ayes have it. Yeah. I'll get hers. Yeah. All right, we've got Senate Bill 5 by Senator Coleman Madison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is a very simple bill. As you all have already been hearing, I know you heard it during budget hearings, that Pardons and Parole wants to establish a transitional residential facility for the ladies, because we don't have what we have for men. And all this bill does is allows them to establish at least one facility. We're looking at this bill, this facility is being in Clark County, that will provide transitional housing and training for the women. And I have an amendment, Mr. Chairman, that was added on in the House. We want to make this identical so that it really calls the facility the Women's Care Facility for Clark County, Alabama Rehabilitation and Education. I will offer that as an amendment.
Okay, the amendment, you get that, same.
Yes, it's just, it's called the Care Facility, and it's Clark County since it's going to be there.
We've got the amendment by Senator Coleman Madison. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay, and the ayes have it, and amendment's adopted.
Now, Mr. Chairman, I will move by final approval for committee approval with amendment.
All right. Been a favorable and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Yep,
I was seconded it. Coleman.
Coleman Madison.
I moved it. CNM.
I'm glad y'all wearing different outfits today.
He don't look like. Y'all can't say that.
That's the agenda, isn't it? That's it. All right, we